Good evening YouTube and welcome back. This is the second part of my Harry Potter related videos, and today I will be doing the 30 questions ultimate Harry Potter tag for you. So please stick around and watch if you want to know even more about my Harry Potter obsession. Let's get started. The first two questions are the same. Favourite book, least favourite book. So my favourite book is The Prisoner of Azkaban, as I said in my last tag. It just felt a little bit different to the rest of them. And my least favourite book is The Goblet of Fire, because I just think it's too long. She spends so much time talking about things other than the importance of the plot, and yeah, that's just why it's my least favourite. The next two questions are your favourite movie and your least favourite movie. My favourite movie is Prisoner of Azkaban as well. My least favourite movie is Half-Blood Prince. I just don't think they did it very well. And they did the whole ending with Snape. I've said I'm a Snape fan, and they did the whole reveal of Snape being the Half-Blood Prince. They just really fudged it, in my opinion. So yeah, that's why that's my least favourite movie. Number 5, your favourite quote. There are so many really amazing quotes, to be honest. I really like the thing about how, you know, it takes an awful lot of courage to stand up to one's enemies, but even more courage to stand up to one's friends. I think that's a really important quote. But I think my most favourite quote comes from Sirius Black, and it's if you want to know what a man's truly like, take a good look at how he treats his inferiors. And I just think that's really important, and it is true. It tells a lot about a person, not how he treats his friends and equals and all of that stuff, but how he treats those, you know, beneath him. So whether that's service people or younger people or poor people or whatever it is, I think, yeah, that's a really important quote and a really important thing to remember. Question 6 is your favourite Weasley. Now, traditionally, I should say Ron. There's this whole big thing about Ron. I spent most of my secondary school career being called Ron. That was my nickname. It was Harry Potter related. I don't even quite remember how it happened. It just did. And literally to the point where I'd have teachers, I'd meet a new teacher, and they'd read my name, they'd say Hannah, and then they'd look at me and go, oh, you must be Ron, okay. And it's like they knew me as Ron, not Hannah, and it was like, so traditionally speaking, I should say Ron, but I think as I've grown up, Molly Weasley is my favourite Weasley. She's just badass, isn't she? So yeah, she's my favourite Weasley. Question 7 is your favourite female character. Nymphadora Tonks. Without a question of a doubt, she's not afraid to be herself. She could look like anyone in the entire world, and she chooses to look like herself, and to be herself and not to fit in. I just think it's a really powerful message to give, and I just love her. She's fearless. She's not afraid to stand up for what she thinks is right. She's not afraid to follow and fight for what she wants and what she believes in, and she doesn't let Remus Lupin throw away something that is amazing just because he's scared. So yeah, I love Tonks. Question 8 is your favourite villain. I love Bellatrix Lestrange. She's just incredible, and I think Helena Bonham Carter's presentation and portrayal of her is amazing. I don't like her, but as a created character, as a construct, Dolores Umbridge is just, she's universally hated. And it's because I think she's even worse than Voldemort, because the reason she is hated is she is ignorant and prejudiced and just a horrible person for the fun of it. And everyone, you know, the way she treats people, she doesn't do things magically necessarily. She's just unfair and ignorant and horrible, and everybody has met somebody like that, and everybody has had an Umbridge in their life at one point or the other, and that's also why I need to mention her. Saying that she's my favourite anything makes me cringe, but she is an incredibly well written villain, and in the films, she's like, it's like horror brought to life. Just, yeah. Question 9 is your favourite male character. It's a toss-up between Cedric Diggory and Severus Snape. Yes, I am a Snapeophile, and I don't care. I am unashamed about that. But really, I think my favourite male character would have to be Cedric Diggory. He is just the best and most fair person. Like, he is in Prisoner of Azkaban. He is obviously the Seeker in the Quidditch, the Hufflepuff Quidditch team that Gryffindor are playing when Harry falls off his broom because of the Dementors. And Cedric doesn't realise what's going on, so he catches the snitch, and then when he finds out what's happening, he wants them to basically ignore what happened, book a rematch at some point because it's not fair, and just, yeah, Cedric Diggory is my favourite male character. Question 10, favourite professor. It's either Snape, but as a teacher, he is not my favourite professor because he is my favourite teacher. He's just one of my favourite characters that happens to be professor. He's an awful teacher. He's a bully. He's unfair. He has favourites. He's just a terrible teacher. However, my favourite professor then is Lupin. I also don't think he's a particularly great teacher because he's unsafe. He has students in his office on their own, behind hours. So actually thinking about it, my favourite professor from a professor point of view would be McGonagall. She's always fair, she's always willing to listen to both sides of something, she's just, yeah. So yeah, Professor McGonagall would be my favourite professor. Question 11, would you A, rather wash Snape's hair, or B, spend a day listening to Lockhart rant about himself? I'd wash Snape's hair. I don't understand it, it's just greasy hair, like, you wash it, rinse it off, shampoo it, like, what's the dealio? Definitely would prefer that to a day with Lockhart. Question 12, would you rather duel an elated Bellatrix Lestrange or an angry Molly? I'd rather duel an elated Bellatrix Lestrange because that would make her sloppy. As we've seen in the books, the films, when she's happy and manic, she's more likely to be sloppy than Molly Weasley when she's angry. I would not want to be anywhere near that, let alone in the firing line, so yeah. I'd rather duel Bellatrix when she's really happy. Question 13, would you rather travel to Hogwarts via the Hogwarts Express or a flying car? Like, how is that even a question? The Hogwarts Express, obviously. We've all seen how it worked out with the flying car. And the Hogwarts Express would just be magical and you'd get to pick anything off the trolley, love. You know, you'd get to have some cauldron cake, some pumpkin pasties, which are actually really nice. Pumpkin pasties are surprisingly delicious. I thought they would be horrible, but they were really good. So yeah, definitely. Question 14, would you rather kiss Voldemort or give Umbridge a bubble bath? I'd kiss Voldemort. Like, come on. What is that question? Question 15, would you rather ride a hippogriff or a firebolt? A hippogriff. Just because if I was in the Harry Potter world, I'd be a Quidditch player, so I'd probably ride a broomstick, so that wouldn't be entirely... I mean, I guess if I was a big sports fan, then I'd be like, oh yeah, firebolt, it's like top of the range or whatever. But a hippogriff is a hippogriff. That would be a much more like once in a lifetime experience, I feel. So yeah, I'd rather ride a hippogriff. Question 16, is there a character you felt differently about in the movies? This pains me to say, but Ginny and Lupin. So in the books, Ginny is incredible character. She's up there actually in my top favourite females. But I just Bonnie Wright is really good and I like her. She's intelligent, she's pretty. I didn't like her portrayal of Ginny. And I think a lot of that to do with the way she was written, so I don't think it's all Bonnie Wright's fault. But yeah, in the films it was like, are you even the same character? And the other one that Remus Lupin, I love David Thewlis. He's a great actor. But his portrayal of Lupin always gave me the creeps a little bit, which kind of a little bit ruined the character for me. I still love Lupin, he's still one of my favourite characters, but just David Thewlis is just the whole way he's characterised in the movies just gave me the creeps, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah. Question 17, is there a movie that you preferred to the book? No. Question 18, Richard Harris or Michael Gambon. Now, I know it's really fashionable within the Potterhead circles to hate on Michael Gambon, and it's all because of the way that he delivered the "Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire" line. Which, A, that's not all him. That would have been direction as well, so I'm not going to hate on him for that. And I think they're both great in their own way. Richard Harris obviously is, you know, like the epitome grandfatherly, jolly Dumbledore. I don't actually think that is Dumbledore's character. Michael Gambon, on the other hand, is like a little bit too of the kooky, like, unpredictableness. I think you need to have somewhere in between those two. So if they could have found a way to help Michael Gambon kind of marry his portrayal of Dumbledore with Richard Harris's, then you have the best of both worlds, and I think that would have been perfect. Dumbledore is not all the nice, oh yes Harry, yes I'm a great mentor and a lovely person. He's not about that. Wait for the next Fantastic Beasts movie. Question 19, your top thing that wasn't in the movies that you wish was Peeves. Peeves! Hashtag where is Peeves? Question 20, if you could remake any of the movies, which would it be? Half-Blood Prince. I mentioned in the beginning of this video that I just don't think they got a lot of it right, so I definitely remake Half-Blood Prince and do things better, because that should have been a better film, because actually it's one of my favourite books, but it is my least favourite film, so go figure. 21, which house was your first gut feeling you were a part of? Well, I think everyone when they're younger are like, yeah, Gryffindor, yeah, I want to be part of the, like, team, yeah, go Gryffindor, woo! But when I actually started thinking about it and started thinking, okay, which house would I actually be in? Yep, Hufflepuff. So yeah, my first initial thing was, yeah, Gryffindor, woo! I've even got, like, a DVD case that has the Gryffindor crest on it, but as soon as I actually put any thought into it, I've always felt like a Hufflepuff. 22, which house are you actually sorted into in Pottermore? Hufflepuff. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if I hadn't been sorted into Hufflepuff, I would have had a little bit of an existential crisis, and I probably would have retaken it, like, remake accounts until I got Hufflepuff. But I would have dealt, like, if they'd made me a Ravenclaw or a Slytherin, or God forbid, a Gryffindor, I would have dealt with it and I would identify as that house. But no, I don't think I've actually really taken a proper decent sorting quiz. That's not one of the random ones that BuzzFeed does. That's like, choose your favourite pizza and we'll tell you what house you're in. I'm generally 99 times out of 100 I'm sorted into Hufflepuff. So question 23 is, which class would have been your favourite class? I think potions. Like, I like cooking and mixing things together and stuff, so I really think I would have enjoyed potions. I think I would have been good at it as well. Less of that silly wand waving and incantations here and all of that stuff. So yeah, potions. 24 is, which spell would be useful to learn? Accio, Alohomora, Lumos, like all of those really practical spells, because Accio, you wouldn't have to move anywhere again. Alohomora, you wouldn't have to worry about forgetting your keys. And, well, Lumos, you'd always have a light. Question 25 is, which character do you instantly think you'd become friends with? I think I'd probably be friends with Hermione. I think we've got a lot in common. I'm not as, like, brainy and perfectionist as she is, but I think we've got a lot in common. And Luna, I'd want to be friends with Luna. Whether or not we'd instantly become friends is another thing, but I would want to be friends with Luna. I love Luna. 26 is actually a question I answered in the previous tag, which is, which of the Deathly Hallows would you have? And I'd have the invisibility cloak, because I just think power is never something I've been after, so I wouldn't want the Elder Wand. And there's just too much that could go wrong with the Resurrection Stone, so I would definitely want the invisibility cloak. Question 27, is there any aspect of the books you want to change? Get rid of the epilogue. Get rid of the epilogue and we're all good. Also, make Goblet of Fire. I've mentioned several times now why I don't like the book Goblet of Fire. Well, it's not that I don't like it, but why it's my least favourite. And talk about less of the random rubbish and just get more to the point. 28 is favourite Marauder, Remus Lupin. Yeah. Do I have to? Just Remus Lupin. He was, I think, the only decent one of the entire Marauders. They're all flawed. Mooney obviously is flawed. Lupin is greatly flawed, but I think he's the least flawed and the most close to being a genuinely nice person. Question 29. If you could bring any character back to life, who would it be? Just, this is why I don't want the Resurrection Stone, because I could not choose one character. Tonks or Lupin, because poor Teddy growing up without both of his parents, like, just one of those parents, please. Fred, because the thought of George without Fred, and Fred, like, Frauge and Gred, like, not together, oh, it hurts me inside. Sirius Black, so that Harry could have had that father figure that he was looking forward to. Oh, I still feel so sad about Sirius Black's death. And Dobby. Dobby! Why did Dobby have to die? Like, oh. And the final question, question 30, Hallows or Horcruxes? Interesting question. Probably Hallows. I can't see myself ever wanting to make a Horcrux. Like, I'm just not that way inclined, and I don't understand why I'd want to. Obviously I know why I'd want to, but I'm just not that sort of person, so probably Hallows. And yeah, that is the 30 question ultimate Harry Potter tag. Let me know some more in the comments below. What house are you in? And are you as obsessed with Harry Potter as I am? That's fairly difficult, I know, but just let me know, I'd be interested. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video, which unfortunately is probably not going to be quite as magical.